Welcome back. This is another one of the stories from the world's worst teachers. Let's hope we never get one of these. Today's story is The Incredible Bulk. Mr. Bulk was an enormous oaf of a man, as wide as he was tall, like a hot air balloon in a tracksuit. The teacher wore a tracksuit to school every day, but not because he exerted himself in any way. No. It was because he taught sports, and sports teachers have to wear tracksuits, even if they are less active than a sloth. Bulk had a different coloured one for each day of the week. Monday, flamingo pink. Tuesday, electric blue. Wednesday, deep purple. Thursday, canary yellow. Friday, postbox red. To complete his look, he had a big, bushy moustache, a mullet haircut, and a huge gold medallion nestling on his hairy chest. Mr. Bulk thought he was the coolest teacher around. Sadly, no one agreed. All the boys at Twaddle School laughed at him behind his back. They had a nickname for him that had been passed from generation to generation. The Incredible Bulk. It was cruel, but he certainly loved his food. The teacher always had something big and meaty on the go. A million sausage rolls later, he was ginormous. Now, despite not having the appearance of a natural athlete, Mr. Bulk would spend the whole of his lessons making wild boasts about his sporting achievements. I could have won the Wimbledon tennis championships, he would tell his pupils as he devoured a pork pie. Even the doubles, playing on my own. 2 against 1, I'm that good. Game, set and match. Doosh. The England football team begged me to be captain for the World Cup final, but I am on playground duties on Friday, so I couldn't make it. Goal! He proclaimed, as he sprayed Cornish pasty crumbs all over the kids. Split, splat, splut. The problem is, I'm actually too good at boxing. If I got in the ring with a heavyweight champion of the world, it would be all over in 1 second. I would knock him out with a single punch. Boom! He would brag as he polished off a battered sausage. I'm actually banned from playing rugby at international level as it wasn't fair on all the other players. They would have just got trampled underfoot by me as I scored goal after goal. I mean, try. Doof. He always liked to end with a big shout, even if it meant the meatball he was munching shot out of his mouth and hit a kid bang in the eye. Splat, ouch. Basketball is my #1 sport. I can shoot a hoop from a distance of a mile, with my eyes closed and my hands tied behind my back. That's why you won't see me playing professional basketball. It is so easy for me, it's boring. Skills, he would crow as he chomped on 2 sausage rolls at once. Chomp, chomp. Now, of course, the kids at Twaddle School didn't believe a word of all this nonsense. When he finished a story, they would roll their eyes, the only exercise they got. One day, a boy asked, "If you're so brilliant at all these sports, sir, why are you teaching here at Twaddle? This school has never won a thing." It was true. Twaddle School had a trophy cabinet that was empty of all trophies. It really was just a cabinet. "Because I'm going to bring home the gold for the school," Bulk replied as he bit down on his bacon sandwich and squirted brown sauce over the boy. Splurge. Yuck. Bacon sandwiches were one of Bulk's favourites, but he loved all the food that was served in the school canteen. Sausage rolls, toad in the hole, meatballs, spam fritters, beef Wellington, liver and bacon, except vegetables. He point-blank refused to eat any. "Vegetables are for losers," was one of his mottos. "Fruits is for wimps," was another. Mr. Bulk thought the 5-a-day rule for eating fruit and vegetables referred to 5 different types of salami. Mr. Bulk even carried around a dog-eared note, supposedly from his mother, in case the dinner lady pressed him to eat any of either. "Dear dinner lady, please can you excuse me, my son, Mr. Bulk, from any fruit or vegetables. He doesn't like them and may well cry if he has to eat any. They taste yucky. Yours thankingly, Mr. Bulk's mum." Mr. Bulk may not have troubled with the fruit or vegetables, even if he couldn't. I mean, his mum couldn't spell them. But the pupils and teachers would still run to the school canteen at lunchtime. Bring! Sounded the bell at noon. It was like the starting pistol being fired. The race would begin. Go, go, go! Run! Get him before the incredible Bulk scoffs the lot! It would be a stampede. Stomp, stomp, stomp. They had to get in quick, or Bulk would have polished off the main course before they even got there. The teacher would pick up the entire tray of spaghetti bolognese, or whatever was on the menu that day. Then he would waddle over to his table, waddle, waddle, whiddle, slam the tray down, dunk, before burying his face in it. He didn't believe in using cutlery. Cutlery is for quitters, was another one of his mottos. Mr. Bulk ate like a farm animal at a trough, barely coming up for air. Gobble, gobble, gobble. When he finally did come up for air, his face would be covered in food. Before, after. He would then belch loudly. Burp. Pong. Bulk had the meatiest burps. They were so meaty you could slice them with a carving knife. Then the teacher would move on to the desserts. Gobble, gobble, gobble. Burp. Pong. Before finally devouring an enormous meat-based packed lunch that his mum had made for him. A whole roast hog, a meat of salami, and 100 chicken legs. Gobble, gobble, gobble. Burp. Pong. His excuse for eating like this: us athletes need all the energy we can get. I wouldn't want to waste away, he would say as he slapped his big fat tummy. Slap. Wibble, wobble, wobble. And waddled off. After his 2 lunches, he would crash out on a crash mat in the sports hall and snooze for the rest of the afternoon. Bulk's eating may have been prodigious, but his teaching was not. His sports lessons was a complete joke. What made matters worse was that a huge match with a rival school was looming, and not a single boy at Twaddle School had received a moment's football coaching. They hadn't even seen a ball, let alone kicked one. It was the school's football championships, and the Twaddle team was heading for yet another disaster. Every week, the boys would plead, "Please, please, 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 can we have a practice game, sir? Otherwise, we're going to get thrashed." Have I ever told you my story about the World Badminton Championships? I hit the shuttlecock so hard, it shot up into outer space. Yes, sir, chimed the boys 1,000,000 times. The weeks and days and months passed, and the school's football championships were edging nearer. In the time when the boys should have been honing their football skills, Bulk was boring the life out of them with his stories about how he could beat anyone in a swimming race across the English Channel, even though he still had to wear armbands, get a hole-in-one at a golf course in Scotland, even if he teed up the ball in Ireland, outrun the fastest man in the world over 100 metres and still have time to stop for a kebab on the way, karate kick a tree over, win the Tour de France on his mum's 3-wheeler, weightlift the entire science block, including the hefty laboratory technician Mrs. Schaaf, and pole vault over the main school building using only a 30-centimetre ruler for a pole. Oh, and I got the wrestler man to the ground while still eating a bag of pork scratchings. Finally, the day of the big match came. Twaddle School was facing a team from the reigning champions, Course College. They had won the school's football championships every year for a staggering 100 years. It was hardly surprising, as they always cheated. First, although this was an under-12s match, most of the Course College team looked much, much older. One even had to have a shave before kick-off. Second, Course College played dirty. They spent more time tripping you up, thud, elbow you in the eye, whack, or kneeing you in the groin, doing, than they ever did kicking a football, boot. Third, they made sure one of their dads was always the referee. Woo! So the referee blew his whistle for the start of the game as the Twaddle team was still running onto the pitch. Toot! To me! Shouted the course captain, who actually had a beard. His team fanned out behind him. It looked as if there had been a mass escape from the local prison. There was a sea of broken noses, tattoos and hairy legs. Needless to say, they demolished their opponents in seconds. The poor Twaddles did their best, but they didn't stand a chance, not least because they had zero opportunity to practice. At half-time, the referee blew his whistle. The score was 10-0 to Course College. Toot! Not that Mr. Bulk had paid much attention to the game. He was much more interested in the table of sandwiches that had been laid out for all the boys to eat after the match. Sadly for them, Bulk had eaten them all, except one final coronation chicken sandwich. The teacher was now eyeing up the table, wondering if wood tasted nice. What was left of the Twaddle team hobbled over to him. "Mr. Bulk, we're being thrashed," began the captain. "What are we going to do?" The teacher stood perfectly still, save for one part of his body, his mouth. He was chewing, and finally he swallowed that last sandwich. Gulp. Burp. Ponga wonga woo wah. That was a spicy one. Finally he spoke. "Boys, listen to me. I am the champion of champions." "No, you listen to me," snapped the captain. "You are a champion of nothing. You made it all up. It's all nonsense," added the goalie. "The only ball I've ever seen you catch is a meatball," stated the centre forward. The team all laughed at their teacher, who became sad. He took a deep breath and began speaking slowly and softly. "I am not stupid. I know what you all call me behind my back. The Incredible Bulk. Well, it's not my fault I'll have food. And I can dream, can't I?" All of a sudden, the boys felt terrible for mocking him and gazed down at their football boots. "I know that one day I can be the GOAT." "The what?" asked the captain. "GOAT stands for greatest of all time, and that day is today." With that, Bulk waddled onto the pitch. Waddle, woodle, whiddle. "Now we're really done for," remarked the Twaddle captain. He and his teammates stayed on the sidelines as the Course College boys, if they could indeed be called boys, all jeered at Mr. Bulk as if to say, "Who's this huge lump?" However, when their team captain tried to weave around him with the ball, Bulk simply stuck his huge tummy out and boom! The boy-man didn't stand a chance. He bounced against Bulk so hard, boing, that he shot up into the air. Zoom! The course captain landed on the far side of the pitch in a puddle of mud. Splat! Squelch! "One down," called out Bulk. The referee blew his whistle and pulled out a red card to send the sports teacher off. "How dare you? That's my son. He's only just turned 30, screamed the referee. "Oh, I do dare," replied Bulk. "I do." With that, Bulk bashed into the referee with his tummy. Boing! Ah! It sent the referee soaring into the sky. He ended up on a church roof with a spire poking into his bottom. A spire is one of the most painful things that can poke into your bottom. Others include a cactus, a hedgehog, and a medieval flail, none of which I would recommend. Ouch! Just then, one of Course College's super-fast strikers took possession of the ball. He was actually carrying it. I am no expert, but as far as I know, this is against the rules of football. Just as he was about to drop it to his feet and shoot for the goal, Bulk waddled into his way. The striker ran slap-bang into the teacher's tummy. Oof! Wobble! Boink! He zoomed through the air. Whoosh! Before whizzing past his own goalkeeper and hitting the back of the net. "Goal!" shouted Bulk triumphantly, though technically it wasn't. The Twaddle team cheered anyway. Hooray! The head of Course College, Mr. Nash, clomped onto the pitch. Clomp, clomp, clomp. He rolled up his sleeves and lifted up his fist as if he were spoiling for a fight. "What on earth do you think you're doing, man?" he demanded. "This," replied Bulk with a grin, bashing his tummy into him. Wobble, bonk. Bulk sent the man soaring over the crowd of spectators. Whiz! Nash flew head first into a tree, doink, and was knocked out cold. He slid down the trunk, hitting each and every branch all the way down, doink, 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 doink. Mr. Nash landed in a crumpled heap on the grass, slump. Doosh! Exclaimed Bulk. Who's next? Trembling with fear, the Course College team dashed back to the far end of the pitch, except for one, the brawniest of the lot, who stepped towards Bulk. He handed his pint of beer to one of his teammates and stared at the sports teacher. I ain't scared of you, big man, he growled in his deep, manly voice. He was actually so old that he'd gone completely bald. He had tattoos on his knuckles spelling out the words hate and hate. Bulk smiled. Come on then, little one. Baldy. Baldy is an unkind nickname, but it was that, or slaphead. Boof! Whiz! Then chased it across the pitch. Sorry, Baldy booted the ball hard. Boof, whiz, then chased it across the pitch. Stomp, stomp, stomp. Bulk took a few waddles backwards towards the twaddle goal. Waddle, woodle, whiddle. The sports teacher was so wide he all but blocked out the entire goal. With nowhere else to go, Baldy raced slap bang into the Bulk's humongous tummy. Wobble, boink. He was launched high into the air like a space rocket. His bald head glowed red. He was travelling so fast. Sizzle, zoom. Of course, as Isaac Newton's law of gravity taught us, what goes up must come down, and come down he did. Bish. Crash. A third smashed through a fence. Oh, no. Okay, sorry, long bit. So we're going all the way across the page. Baldy hit what was left of the course team at terrific speed, like a bowling ball striking skittles. Baldy sent them shooting off in all different directions. One landed in a hedge, twang. Another in a bin. A third smashed through a fence. A fourth crashed through the sandwich table. A fifth came to a rest in a puddle. Another landed on top of the school minibus. One struck the spectators, sending them flying. Boof. Another flew headfirst into Mr. Nash. Gloink. Just as the course head teacher had come to, he was knocked out cold again. Thud. The final member of the Course College team actually landed in Belgium. What are you waiting for, Twaddle? Called out Mr. Bulk. His team flooded onto the pitch, huffing and puffing. Bulk waddled all the way to Course's goal. This really was his day, and he wanted all the glory. Leaning against the bar to get his breath back, he ordered, "Pass it to me!" The boy did so, and Bulk gently tapped the ball over the line. "Goal!" he exclaimed. The sports teacher had never looked happier. "To me!" The Twaddle team did as they were told. To absolutely nobody's surprise, the second goal was scored. Goal, and another, goal, and another, goal, and another, goal. Soon the teacher would score hundreds of goals. Most he didn't even kick. He just rebounded off his big fat foot. It was hard to keep count of all the goals, but the referee did his best from atop the church spire, and he called out 397 as he blew his whistle for the end of the match. Bulk began a victory lap around the pitch. The teacher was now too puffed out even to waddle, so instead he ordered the Twaddle team to "Carry me!" "You what, sir?" asked the captain. "Carry me!" "You've got to be joking. Carry me!" "But Mr. Bulk, you weigh a ton." 2 tons, actually. "Now, come on. I just won the cup for you. Give this champ his victory lap. Come on. Please, carry me." The boys shared a concerned look. The captain ordered them all to gather around their sports teacher, and on the count of 3 to hoist him high into the air. 1, 2, 3. Using all their might, they raised him up. For a moment, they held his weight, but only for a moment. Their little arms gave way, and Bulk landed on top of them. Thump. "Help! Ah! I'm being squashed!" Sadly, Mr. Bulk never did get to do his victory lap. However, when all the boys in the Twaddle team had got out of hospital, a special assembly was called. There in front of the entire school, in a shiny new gold tracksuit with the letters GOAT emblazoned on the back, Mr. Bulk finally got his moment of glory. He held the school's football championship trophy above his head. "Yes, the greatest of all time," he said as everyone cheered. "Hooray!" To celebrate, he bit into a giant jumbo sausage sandwich. Munch, burp, pong. The burp was so meaty, it actually formed a cloud that rained gravy. It could happen. For all his genius, Isaac Newton missed this one. The events of this story are some years ago now, but Mr. Bulk is still a teacher at Twaddle School. To this day, he bores the children senseless with wild boasts about his sporting achievements. Of course, these stories are all twaddle, except one. The tale of the day he scored an incredible 397 goals. That one is completely and utterly true. The boys were all right all along. Mr. Bulk really was incredible. And there we go. Until next time. Take care, everybody. Stay safe.